Hi, this is City Scrapper. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm back again today with my Sunday share. This is my second episode, and I'm going to be sharing all the layouts I made in July with you. The only layouts I'm not going to be sharing are the ones that I made for Load Mini, and those are in another video, my first Sunday share, and I'll link that below so that if you would like to watch that video, you could watch that as well. So the first layout that I made was using a cut file, and I made part of the cut file into a shaker element. In the background, I used some black acrylic paint, and I splattered it with white and black acrylic paint, and then also some Heidi Swapp Color Shine. After I did that, I added the photos, which I mounted on just plain black and white cardstock. And then it was just a matter of adding some embellishments. Most of them are graduation themed embellishments. And I pretty much used whatever I found that was in this color scheme that I thought would fit into the cut file well. This layout I made using a Paper Passion Posh cut file. I will link the Paper Passion Posh Etsy store below, and you could check out, there's a lot of really nice cut files there. This one I absolutely love. I feel that it is really easy to use. I was able to back it pretty quickly, and once I backed it, and I used the Paige Evans Horizon collection, once I backed it, I put some mixed media in the background. I used sprays, and I also used some white splatters. And once I did that, I just had to add a few ephemera pieces and just a few things from the collection, and the layout came together really quickly. This is another cut file from the Paper Passion Posh Etsy store, and this stars background was just perfect for these Philadelphia pictures that I took several years ago with my children. We went to the Betsy Ross house, and I feel like the papers and the cut file are perfect for the picture. This paper, it's very old Bo Bunny paper. I believe it's the Anthem collection, and I love it because it looks like I did some great mixed media in the background, but paper just came like that. The only thing I added to the background was stars. I used texture paste and a stencil to make the stars in the background. And the only other thing that I did was I backed my photo with some papers and added some embellishments that I had that matched the theme. And I had this bling. This is from Michaels from a really long time ago. And I knew I would use it one day, but I did find it a little hard to figure out how to use it. But I feel like this was the perfect layout to use a bunch of bling. And I used a corner punch and some enamel dots. And that's that layout. This layout I made using the July My Creative Scrapbook kit, and that's the only paper kit that I subscribe to, and I just love, love, love those kits because they have a lot of mixed media things, and I just love the papers that they choose, and a lot of times I end up buying more of whatever they send. This was a Prima surfboard collection, I think it's called, and I loved it. As soon as I opened the box, I was really excited. I cut out these waves from one of the papers, and these flowers are all from the kit. The things that I added were this frame, this chipboard frame, and these clay items that I used, just making some, just using some paper clay that I got in Michaels, and I painted them with Opal Magic paints, and I added in some bling, and there's, if you look carefully, there's a little bit of this pink. It was Easter, like an Easter, I guess it was meant to be used kind of like Easter grass, but it's more of like a straw than your usual Easter grass. And I used some of these art stones and just some bling, but most of these things are from the kit, and I just love this color scheme. Love it, love it. This was from the June My Creative Scrapbook kit, and this is a Simple Stories collection. It's so beautiful. This collection is so beautiful, and I really enjoyed using it. I put some sprays on the background, some watercolor sprays, and then I use a stencil. And the only things I think that are not from the kit are the this black and white striped paper, and then this coral paper that's behind it. Those things were from my stash. And I also use these little jewels that were in my stash, but everything else is from the kit. And I just thought this was just such a beautiful collection. And this is a picture of my daughter on her graduation after she was kind of fed up with wearing her cap and gown. So when we went out to have lunch, I gave her gifts and her card and stuff, and it was a really nice day. Here's another picture from graduation. This was for a Mercy Tiara 27-day challenge Facebook group challenge. This was to take a Pinterest pin and use it as an inspiration for a layout. So a lot of times on Pinterest, I see these layouts where there's a lot of white space and there's a little concentration of papers and picture and embellishments. And I wanted to use that kind of a layout as my inspiration. And I really enjoyed this. I didn't put any gesso on the background. I just used stamps and a little bit of spray. I used the packaging technique, a few black and white splatters. I was really careful to try not to cover the whole page, which I have been known to do. I use all of these are from my scrap papers, my black and white scrap paper. I have a little sleeve of all the same colored scraps, and I use those. I cut this out of a Pocket Life card that I've had for a long time, and then I just used a few black and orange embellishments that I had around. This was really this one was really a stash dive, really nothing new in there. The one thing that I find can be a little difficult about not using gesso, which sometimes if I really want the colors to be a little bit more deep, the colors will come a little deeper if you don't use gesso. Not saying you can't get them deep, but immediately you'll pretty much see the exact color the way it comes from the bottle or from the tube. But not using gesso can sometimes be a problem because it's harder to clean up messes. So I did make a little mess over here with my stamp, but then after that I decided I'll just make it look like it was on purpose. I added a little here and a little here, and sometimes those are mistakes and you have to live with mistakes, but I ended up really liking it. And I think I might consider in the future just not, if I do another layout like this, a lot of white space, I don't want it to be too white. So a little bit of mixed media or a little bit of grunge mixed in there is okay. That's a layout that I'm really happy that I made. This is a little blurry, but I feel like I was able to capture a moment that was so sweet. This is my daughter just walked and got her diploma, and my husband is reaching like out from the stands to give her a hug, and I just love that picture. This layout is also for the Mercy Tiara Facebook group, and this was a sketch challenge, and I wanted to try something. I saw Missy Whitten covered a whole page with texture paste, and so that's what I did. I used a stencil that I really like, and then instead of going in there with sprays, which I usually do, I decided to try to use my ink pads. And I started with a brush, but then I ended up using my finger for most of it to spread around. I used some, I think it's called Evergreen Bough, and some maybe ripe persimmon, and I think a little bit of like a brownish color as well. And I use this Authentique collection, and I love to make these paper clay embellishments. So I make those and paint them like I did in the other layout. And these are Paper Studio embellishments. And I used some pearls from my stash, and that was about it. This one was a fun one to make. This next one is also for the Mercy Tiara Facebook page. It was another sketch challenge, and I was excited to use the She's Magic collection from Dear Lizzy, which I got Some of it I got at Joann, some of it I got at Tuesday Morning, and I feel like when you use a sketch, things can come together quickly. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but this one came together pretty quickly. I just used pattern papers, you know, across from each other, and then more solid papers across from each other, and some fussy cut flowers. Most of these things are from the chipboard from the collection, and I added in these die cuts. I have a bin, or a little box, I should say, of floral leaves and flowers that I cut out in white, and I just leave them handy and use them to add onto my layouts. This one was also for a Mercy Tiara Facebook challenge, and I still have to do the journaling. I use a lot of mixed media on this one and a lot of bling in the background. I used stars with gold Prima or Finnabar texture paste, and I had some fun making shakers. I really love making shakers. I just started making them fairly recently, and I really love it. And a journaling card, and that's it. I made this layout for a paper issues challenge, and both Mercy Tiara and Paper Issues have some great challenges. I get a lot of inspiration from the challenges they have up there. This was using a Bo Bunny collection called Key Lime from quite a number of years ago. When I love a collection, I make sure I get plenty of it, and I don't worry about how old the collections are. This is a collection that I truly love. So on one side I did the Sunburst, and then I just used mixed media on the other side. And a lot of these embellishments are older embellishments. Some are K and Company, some are Momenta, and I did some hand stitching on the Sunburst. And this layout was for Scrap Happy. This was for the June sketch, and in the beginning it looked similar to the sketch or the way I had it planned, but once I put the mixed media down, if I had put as many pictures as the sketch showed, it would have just been too overwhelming. There's already a lot going on this page. So the sketch is very simplified. This part was supposed to be off to the side. I moved it to the center. But I feel like that's kind of one of the things about sketches. They're not just meant to tell you what to do. They're kind of a starting point, and as long as it serves as inspiration, I feel like that's really the whole idea of the sketch anyway. On this one, I mainly just used items from, again, this is the Key Lime collection. I used the mixed media with splatters, black and white, and all of these little items are from the Key Lime collection. So I really just use that one collection here with my mixed media. So those are all my layouts for this month. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back again next Sunday with another Sunday share. I hope that if you like this video, you'll give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed. I hope if you like my videos, you'll subscribe to my channel. And I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you again for joining me. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.